thing we're going to do today is the 4.2b notes, okay, and we are dealing with word problems. All of your word problems for this objective are going to deal with integers. Does anyone know what is an integer? What's an integer? It's just a number. Okay, integers are just numbers. Okay, they are actually, integers are whole numbers. Okay, so sorry. Whole numbers. Okay, so integers are whole numbers. So the first thing you need to know is when we're doing consecutive integer problems, two consecutive integers are defined as x is always the first one. Let me use a different color for you. X is always the first one. If I'm counting to get to the next whole number, what would I need to add to x? X plus 1. Exactly. So two consecutive integers are defined as x and x plus 1. Okay, if we need to go to the next one, it would obviously be x plus 2. If we are counting by even integers, we always start with x. How far away are even integers? 2. So x plus 2. Okay, now, two consecutive odd integers, again, we always start with x. How far away are odd integers?
1.
X plus 2. Okay, you do not count by 1 and then 3 just because it says odd. Odd numbers are still 2 apart. Okay, so the steps to solving consecutive, or actually all word problems, okay? Your first step is always to define the integers. So we always are going to write smaller number equals and larger number equals. We're not actually filling that in at the moment. Then translate the word problem into an equation. Then solve and check to see that the answers work. Okay, so we do have to check. A lot of times it's not really plugging in. It's more of a does this make sense type of a check. Okay, so it's just checking to see if it makes sense. So first things first, let's start with this one. It says find two consecutive positive integers. So consecutive positive integers. So automatically before even reading, I want to define my integers, okay? Automatically before even starting to read. If I define these integers, consecutive positive integers, your smaller number will be equal to x. Smaller number is always equal to x. In this case, our larger number, and the reason I don't say first and second, okay, is because when you write like 1st, a lot of people confuse that and they think it's actually a 1. Okay, so we're going to write smaller and larger. So if your smaller one is x, and I'm looking for consecutive positive integers, what would my next one be? X plus 1. Okay, the word positive does not mean even. Okay, a lot of people when they say the word positive, they think even in their head. Okay, it just means positive. So consecutive positive are 1 apart. So x and x plus 1. Okay, so that's step 1. Then such that, so that means the square of the smaller number, so the square of the smaller number, how would I write that? X squared, we always want to write things in parentheses just in case we're going to have to distribute. Square of the smaller number is means equals 1 more than, what do I write 1 more than? 1 plus twice, so 2 times the larger, and the larger is x plus 1. Now we have our equation set up. Now we just have to solve. Okay, so if I simplify this, this gives me x squared equals, now a lot of people will make this mistake, they will add these together first. According to order of operations, what do I need to do first? Distribute, right. So if I rewrite this, this is 1 plus distribute into the parentheses, 2x plus 2. Combine your like terms. So if I combine my numbers together, it's going to give me x squared equals 2x plus 3. If you wrote 3 plus 2x, it's really the same thing. Now I want to solve. This is what we've been doing. What does something have to equal before you can solve it? A 0. So to move these, I will subtract 2x and subtract 3 from both sides. That leaves us with an equation of x squared minus 2x minus 3. That is factorable. Okay, and I'm sorry, this still equals 0. That is factorable. When I factor that, x and x, you know you're going to have one positive, one negative. What multiplies to 3 adds to 2 has to be 1 and 3. Okay, you want the bigger number to go in the same sign as the middle. So x minus 3, x plus 1. If you break those apart, we get negative 1, positive 3. Now, which of these, for the last one it says, check to see that the answers fit the problem. Which of these does not make sense in this problem? The negative 1. Why? Because it is consecutive positive integers. So that means this does not make sense. Now, I'm asking, find 2 consecutive positive integers. So really, I need to plug back into my equation. My smaller one I found. The smaller one is 3. The larger is what? 4. So your answers here are actually 3 and 4. Okay, you can write 3 comma 4, 3 and, you can write out the word, or you can just write the symbol for and. Okay, but make sure you actually answer the entire question. Okay, it's not just asking you to find x. Now you actually have to plug things back in to make sure that it makes sense. Yes? Sure. Okay, the next one. One positive number is 6 more than another. Okay, so one number and I have another. Okay, so we're just going to go smaller and larger. Okay, so smaller and larger. One positive number is 6 more than another. So that means your smaller number is equal to what? X. What's your larger number? 6 more than, so you can write 6 plus x or x plus 6, same thing because they're both positive. The sum of their squares, so sum means add, okay, and I should remember this is positive, okay, so sum of their squares, so the first one squared plus the second one squared is means equals 68. I want to find the numbers, so find both numbers. So actually work this out. So x squared plus, remember you cannot distribute that exponent in there, so we have to write it out twice. So x plus 6 times x plus 6 equals 68. This you are actually required to FOIL. So x squared plus, if I FOIL these together, I get x squared. Outsides gives me plus 6x. Insides gives me another plus 6x. Last gives me plus 36. Now, I can also at the same time, let's move the 68. So subtract 68, and you will equal 0, because we want everything to equal 0 here. Okay. Then combine your like terms. So put together your x squared, put together your x's, put together your numbers. So that gives you 2x squared plus 12x. 36 minus 68 is negative 32 equals 0. Now we're just solving, okay? So take out a GCF, or excuse me, factor and solve. So take out a GCF of 2. Left behind would be x squared plus 6x minus 16 equals 0. Factor that, so 2. What's going to multiply to a negative 16 add to 6?